Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you guys are doing well. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm Alejandro, and this is my blog channel. I was just kind of experimenting a little bit today with OBS and using OBS. So I have this camera here that you can see me. I added my Cintiq so that I can look at another monitor and see people discussing and talking in the chat over here. I also, within OBS, have set up a scene so that you can see my primary desktop, which I think is kind of cool. And then I have a second camera here so that you can look at like stuff that's going on here so that you can actually, like, I can write or do something over here. That could be kind of cool. Experimenting with that kind of stuff there. So I'm just kind of going back and forth and experimenting with OBS to see how it works and how I can actually get this whole stream setup working pretty well. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be awake. You're working on a logo for your business? That's awesome. I shouldn't be awake. I am just been thinking about a lot of stuff, and I'm supposed to be creating a video every day, and I was short yesterday. It's already past midnight here, but I wanted to create a stream anyways. I haven't been feeling really well still since I got my flu shot. Hopefully I feel better soon, but I can feel it in my throat and just being lethargic all the time, really tired. So today I was let me switch over this way, was writing in my journal a little bit, and I was kind of trying to come up with a list of things, and my handwriting is pretty horrible, but list of things that I figured that is kind of core to who I am, and what I do, and a lot of the types of things that drive me. Did I take a nap yesterday? Yes, I ended up taking a nap. I slept for an hour. It was really nice. But I was still really tired, and I actually slept in this morning because I didn't have anything planned until noon. Today was Penny's homecoming day, so that was pretty awesome. She was in kindergarten, and they did the banner parade and stuff like that, so it was really cool. So you guys are still looking at my screen. Let me switch that over. I thought you guys were looking at me. There we go. So now you guys are looking at me. Hi. I was talking and you guys were just looking at my notebook. I should actually probably take that document, and I think it's an important thing that I've created there, and I think a lot of us should probably take the time to reflect about what's important for us. Part of what I want to do with that, if I switch over here really quick, is that I got a lot of information from the Small Business Administration. So I have a whole bunch of documents. I got this checklist thing here, which is kind of interesting. A lot of the stuff on here I don't feel like applies to what I want to do and what I'm trying to set up right now. But it's kind of like a lot of traditional brick and mortar type businesses, the checklist that they have there. The brick and mortar style businesses, kind of traditional, 20 years ago, what businesses were. But I think businesses now, with the digital age, have kind of shifted. So I'm going to use that kind of as a guide, but with a lot of leeway on what I'm planning on doing. I'm trying to, like I said, experiment with the switching of the screens. I think there's a lot of really cool things we can do with OBS, but I don't have a super lot of experience other than recording a screen. I got this little screen here, which I think is kind of cool because you guys can see me, and then you can also see my screen over here of what I am doing. So let me steal this notebook really quick, and I'm gonna create a document. I have my journal that I write in, and I like that journal because like it's one of the things that I try to make sure that I do is like if I get a journal is to buy something that I feel is like really high quality and really nice. I have a few of them, um, but it makes me feel like if I'm writing something in here, it's important and worth writing. Sometimes I write in it every day. Other times it might be months before I write in it again. But I think that is, for me, something that I find important to be able to write on a little bit of a document that actually, or a book that I feel is kind of like important. But at the same time, I don't really go back and look at my journal that often and like look at the backlog. That's why I like to come into my computer sometimes and actually set up a Google Doc or something like that because I actually do go back through my digital files a lot more. So, like I said, we have about me, and I came up with 10 things, and there are not in any particular order. See, there is a lot of paperwork, admin work, initial setup of a business. I'm going nuts trying to get it all done. Plus, I still want to start my channel. Plus, interpreting 2 days a week. Yeah, that's a lot of busy work. You can come in, Penny. Penelope is still awake and she should be asleep, but she's awake right now. Yeah, you can have those. Hey, how's everybody? Late night with Clint. Is Clint doing a raid right now? That's pretty awesome. Hey Clint, let me switch over. I got this OBS thing going on so I can switch cameras. Kind of experimenting with it. Do you want to say hello, Penny? It's okay, he can stay here. Woo. Yeah, there's quite a bit more people now. You guys can see the back of my room. Normally you see the other side where you're actually looking at the wall with my pictures and illustrations of Penny and things like that. Let me see if I can set it up so that you guys can see what you normally see. I got to switch over to camera 2. There we go. So normally you see this side here. There I am. I got a light set up over here. So that is kind of my setup right now. We are in my room. Penny just walked out right now. She's watching TV. I know. Right now, today, I was kind of just going through and looking at some stuff that I think the artwork has been. Let me switch over to the other camera because it's easier to see that way. The artwork that I have up on the walls here, I've been trying every year to get an illustration made of Penny and me somehow from a different artist. So I've missed the first year. I think this is when she was 2. That was when she was 3. This was when she was 4. And then she's 5 now, so I hopefully can get something made now this year before she turns 6. So that's kind of like a little tradition that I've been trying to set up for Penny and me, is to get those illustrations made every year. I think it's pretty fun. Yeah, so let's see. Today, yesterday, Saturday, 22nd, my oldest daughter's birthday. She's just turned 35. Wow, I'm 35 too, so she's my age. Okay, so let me switch over to this screen again. There we go. So I am just looking at some things that I felt like kind of exhibit who I am, kind of like just 10 terms that I could think of from my mind. And if you guys think of something that pops up that isn't on this list, I'd like to know, because sometimes being myself and looking at myself, I don't know exactly everything about who I am, but I have other people, like looking as an observer, can actually know more about me in some ways than I know about myself. So one of the things that I always think of myself as is a creator. So, okay, awesome. Have fun, Clint. Thanks for stopping by. This was awesome. So that's, being a creator, I think, is really important to me, to be able to create things. And it's not just being a creator here on YouTube and the idea of what people call creator now, but I've always been really interested in creating, like, it could be crafts, it could be art, illustrations, design, film, things like that. I was always interested in that growing up. I have another channel where I create, like, sewing dresses for my daughter and things like that. Hi, Stephanie, how are you? Angela, Budget Bookcraft, there's a lot of people in here right now. I was, like, not expecting a lot of people to be here because it's, like, so late. It's already past midnight here. It's so awesome to see everybody. So, creator is kind of one of the things that I think of as kind of a core pillar of who I am. Educator as well. I teach at a university right now, and I teach 3D digital design, but I find that I really like to be able to mentor and show people how to work towards the goals that they want to achieve. And I think that's been kind of an important thing that I found out about myself, is that I really like the process of being able to teach and pass on knowledge. Prepping trumpet stuff. That's awesome, Stephanie. Are you prepping for classes, or are you prepping for your YouTube channel, or is it a combination of both? Late crowd, yeah. Trying to mask out an area and make a silhouette in Photoshop. I created how to do it, but never had hands-on, but love creating something in these programs. That's awesome. Loving Father. Yes, Father is on the list, I believe. Well, I structured it a little bit different, but Father is part of what I added on here. Let's jump up to that one. So I was putting personal relationships. So for me, like, when I wrote the term personal relationships, is like, that counts as being a father and building that relationship with my daughter, but also all my friends and family and people that I feel like really close to. That ends up being really important to me, and it's something that I aspire to kind of solidify, and I really like to build those personal relationships. Prepping for some videos on my channel to release slowly in the future. That's good. I struggle to create a kind of get ahead on my videos. A lot of times I'm behind. Most of the time I'm behind. Okay, so I like the outdoors. And I misspelled relationships. There we go. So for me, like, if you notice, a lot of my videos, I don't record too often indoors. I find that if I stay indoors too often, I really kind of get like cabin fever, where I'm just like get down and don't feel that great. So I need to make sure that I occasionally get outdoors, or else I kind of get into that mode in my head to not produce more. So I kind of get really down on myself. So that's something that I know for me personally that I need to make sure that I do. I enjoy being around other people. So this is a little bit different than personal relationships. Like I actually like being around a lot of people. I'm not super extroverted, but at the same time, I like being around other people, which is kind of weird. I think that being around a lot of people really kind of brings me up and makes me happy. I try to be extroverted and kind of social, but I struggle with that part of it. But if I'm alone for too long, that kind of goes with the like being outdoors kind of thing, where I end up kind of getting stuck in my head and end up not being too productive because of that. Uh, I am super analytical. So let's fix that. For me, like, I overthink things and I am like wanting to plan things too much and just don't take action. And that's part of why I've gone through and started creating a YouTube channel that I try to do daily, which ends up not being so much daily recently. But I find that if I put myself into that structure where I have a quick deadline and quick turnarounds, I actually do things. So that's something that I'm trying to be able to figure out and kind of structure things in my life to be able to give myself those sort of important deadlines so that way I keep things going and keep myself motivated. It looks like there's a lot of chat about school and music. Very awesome. Okay, so then the last two that I have on here, I have that are kind of similar. Playful and fun. I like to play games. I like to enjoy myself. I like interacting with people and just having a good time. I'm not too much about drama, and I usually kind of am standoffish when that kind of stuff happens, and it stresses me out quite a bit. But along with that, I'm also very hopeful and optimistic. And that is messed up. There we go. So for me, the reason I'm kind of coming up with these ideas is because I want to structure a lot of what I'm doing on this channel and on the future and things that I'm working on to have these core values, because I think because I was thinking about like who am I think if I can get these core values into what I am doing, then I can be happier with what I'm doing, I guess. Actually, there is one more that I am missing that I thought I wrote. Maybe I skipped writing it. Yeah, I did. So for me, I have like a strict kind of idea of what is right and wrong in my head, and if I veer too far off of that, it stresses me out quite a bit. So, and a lot of times things that I feel like that should be a certain way and they're not, it kind of eats at me on the inside. So I want to make sure that I am working towards things that are kind of aligned with my moral compass, I guess, if that makes any sense. So these are kind of my core pillars of who I am, I think. I don't know if any of you guys, from observing me on YouTube, I know it's different than observing me in person, but I think some of you guys might have met me in person. Might want to add on onto this list as well. But that is kind of where I'm looking at. And then let me see if I can align this up really quick. We can look at the ideas that they have on the Small Business Administration, on what they recommend for setting up a business and kind of starting that kind of thing going. Okay. See if I can. So the screen is upside down, so maybe because I put the camera back the wrong way. So I can just talk about it really quick. Let me switch over to this camera. Yeah, that would be really awesome. We definitely do need to meet each other because we work at the same place. So, I mean, we met each other online before we met each other at our workplace, which is kind of funny. And then Stephanie, if you're still here, I think it would be awesome to meet you. And I'll be in California in October, but I think you're more in Central California, which would be like 4 hours away. But I'll be in LA, which is much closer. So on here, on the SBA, it says that decide on the type of business. And I have some ideas on the business that I want to do. I know that I want to do, based on production, my background has always been like film and animation. Have worked professionally in film and animation. 3 hours north of LA. I wonder how much an Uber would cost to drive that far out. Would be worth it though. So let's see. Type of business. Yeah, the type of business that I want to run. I know I want to do production, and let's try to move this a little bit further up. But I also like gaming a lot. In video games, I've worked in video games for 3D as well. I also really love board games, and I think that's a goal of mine that I want to do some point in my life, is to create an actual board game that I can actually sell, because I think that would be so awesome. Board games have been a huge part of my life growing up. So, and that kind of all comes back to my idea of wanting to create things and do things like that. Another thing that is important with my job that I kind of want to build up for the future is being able to have a bit of freedom of time and place of how and when I do things. And a big part of that is to be able to enjoy and spend time with Penelope, and it will make things easier than what it is now, because sometimes I'm really dependent on how other people schedule me for work and things like that. And sometimes I need to come into meetings, which kind of makes it struggle for me to be able to be a solo parent right now by myself and have my parent responsibilities. When will I be in California? I am going to be in California October 8th to the 14th. Well, actually, not the 8th. I'm flying out the 8th here, but I'll be landing in LA at like 1 o'clock on the 9th. Potter, calm down. Are you going to be doing anything in Magic Spell Studios building? We made a proposal, and I think they would be awesome. I think if I can establish this to be something kind of bigger with what I'm doing right now, I would really like to work together with Magic Spell Studios. Right now, the stuff that I'm doing is kind of not exactly what they're looking for yet, because they want to interact with businesses, which right now I kind of technically have a business. I have my employer identification number and other stuff like the foundational, like LLC and stuff like that for a business, but I don't have like the infrastructure and the mission and goal and all that kind of stuff set up, and that's part of what I'm trying to do right now. Oh yeah, Vid Summit. That's when I'm going to be out there, is for Vid Summit. Yeah, so yeah, my business, I want to set it up for creating things, and like I want it to be built up like big eventually, like the big huge goal of having a major company that is all about creation and being able to create this kind of environment where other people can actually create as well, and offer them opportunities to be a designer within the company and things like that. I think that would be really awesome. Like in my mind, like kind of like major dream of the future would be like something along the lines of like a major studio like Disney, where they create like everything. They have books, they have movies, they have animated films, they have feature films, they have games that they create, they have interactive media, they have like everything. They create like a little bit of everything, and I mean, they have their core pillars of what they create, but then they expand and they do so much. And I think like if like my dream would be like doing something like that, but I think that, I mean, that would be an amazing, crazy goal like to shoot for. But even if I fall short from that, I think I could be happy doing things. But that would be like the total dream, is to create something huge like that. Hey, Pusa Studios, how are you doing today? Yeah, I normally go live like early in the morning if I go live, or at 8 o'clock when you guys are live. I try not to go live on the days that you're live, though. But I haven't been feeling the greatest lately, so I haven't recorded any videos. But I have my goal of creating videos, 200 videos, to finish my 200th video by the beginning of Vid Summit. So I need to keep on schedule to achieve that goal. I'm also experimenting with OBS. So right now you're looking at me through the camera here, but then I also have a little setup here where you can see my screen as well. And then I have this other camera where you can see a different view. So I am experimenting a little bit with OBS so that maybe in the future I can do some more cool things. Yeah, it wasn't planned. Well, it was planned by me, but I didn't like set it up in case I didn't do it, because like feel like I'm losing my voice and things like that right now. Uh yeah, I try. It's hard not to be tough on myself. I always like feel like if I'm not like that, I'm kind of wasting time, or I am not doing enough to work towards my potentials. But I also need to realize that I do have limits, and part of realizing that I have limits is that I need to take care of my health as well. Because, like I said, I'm not feeling the greatest, and I think it started with the flu shot that I got a couple days ago, and it's just rocked my world a little bit hard. So, yeah, they have a whole bunch of stuff on this list, and like some of the I don't even really understand. Like it says identify and consult sources of trade information. I guess that would be like trade magazines and things like that. So I mean, I've been working in the film and animation industry for like ever, so I have a lot of that. I mean, since about 2001 I've been working on that kind of stuff, although I want to move out of like the kind of like main designer or kind of that stage of like you're working on other people's projects, and I want to be the one like creating the projects and have other people working on the projects that I am envisioning. So that would be really cool. Yeah, I do agree with that. That's something that I need to be more careful with because I need to be healthy for Penny. I like the main three things that I focus on right now are my YouTube channels, work, and taking care of Penny. Not necessarily in that order because actually Penny's number one. I have to take care of her because she completely depends on me, so I have to do that. And then the other two kind of fall in place. Right now, I kind of have to prioritize work because that's where I'm getting all the finances to be able to take care of Penny. But I'd like to transition that eventually to be able to work for myself rather than working and being employed somewhere else. Just reading the comments really quick. That could be it too. With the start of the school year, getting sick. I mean, I got like a double whammy because I work at a school. So I am surrounded by a whole bunch of students as well. But then my daughter is going to kindergarten, and she has all her friends and everything that is where she can bring the germs in from her school as well. So yeah, it's kind of like I can get hit from both sides, from work and from Penny's school starting the school year. Especially since most of the summer, like I pretty much spent it just with Penny, and I mean we were around other people occasionally, like when we went to Pennsylvania for the No Small Creator meetup, but for the most part, it was just really me and Penny going out exploring and hiking and just having fun during the summer break. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I'm like crossing my fingers that that's not the case with the studios. That like if I was kind of on the verge of getting sick and then I got the flu shot and then it's kind of gonna push me over the edge. That's why I've been trying to relax a little bit more. And yesterday and today I've done both live streams instead of creating videos. Because the videos like I mean, can take 2 or 3 hours to shoot, then like 3 to 6 hours to edit, depending on what I'm making for that video. Like my edits take a really long time, and I mean, it doesn't seem like it sometimes because it's not sometimes super fancy. But even my simple edits, like they are usually around 3 hours to do. I've been interpreting K through 12 in college for the last 13 years. I've seen every year. September brings all sorts of illness. Yeah. And I think teaching every year around this time I do end up getting sick. Oh, thank you, Budget Bushcraft. I really appreciate that. I try to be a good person. I really do. I mean, I'm flawed like everybody, but I do really try hard to be a good person. Yeah, Stephanie, I know you're or I guess faculty. I keep on saying professor, but in grade school, do you guys call yourselves professors as well? I know with Penny, they call them, like, she calls her teachers teachers. Hot tea, blanket, binge watch Netflix, and sleep. Yeah, I really need to. Like, what I've actually been doing, I really like audiobooks, so instead of Netflix, I've been listening to the Dresden Files on audiobook files, and I really enjoy doing that. Just educators or teachers. Cool. Although I think you guys are at that level, especially in California where you're at, like, the training and the education that you need is actually way more rigorous than what we need at university. When I started teaching at the university level, I only had a bachelor's degree. Now I have a master's degree, but at first, because of the field that I was in, and it was hard to find people with master's degrees in my field, they would accept people with bachelor's degrees, and then eventually I had enough experience where it kind of counted as a master's degree, but then I did get a master's degree now, and that helped me get at the kind of tier university that I am at, which usually requires PhDs, but in my field, they don't really have a PhD for what I teach, so the MFA, it's kind of the equivalent for working in the creative fields in 3D at least. Okay, let's substitute Netflix, but the rest should be in your program for tonight and tomorrow. Yeah, I think maybe the weekend might be a good time to do that. So it's weird. Like, a lot of people say that they get less views on the weekends, and I've seen it kind of fluctuate. Sometimes they get less views, sometimes they get like a crazy amount of views on the weekend. Heavy Metal Magnets here. Cool. I didn't realize that you were here. I should be in bed. Oh yeah, Heavy Metal Magnet. Also, you're another one that I need to be able to meet because I'm going to be in California in a few weeks, so we need to make sure. And I also got a present for you from the Worldwide Collab to give you when we get over there to California. Well, actually, just me. Penny's going to be here. One of my neighbors going to be taking care of Penny. I think depends on the weather for the views. If people stay at home or go out, yeah, that could be true too. Although I think the summer's been a really good summer this year, so with the weather. I mean, I've been out a lot. I remember in past years here, it's rained a ton and it was kind of hard to get out. I actually prefer the snow over the rain out here because with the snow you can still go out and not worry about getting soaked. Hey, it's Benny. Yes? Do you want to come over here and say hi? They want to say hi to you. Okay, I'll come and fix it. Say hi, and then I'll come and fix it, and I'll get off the live stream.
Because that one is free McDonald's one.
Oh. Say hi, it's Penny.
Hi. I said hi, Dad.
Yeah. Let's see. They'll see you right here. Do you see her? There. Let's aim this a little bit lower so that we can actually see you. Look it. They're going to see you right now. It's coming. It's coming. There. Now they can see you easier. See, it's a little bit delayed. It's super late, huh, Penny? Are you tired?
It doesn't see like this.
Yeah? Watch, look it. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It takes about like 15 seconds and then you can see yourself do what you did over here. So Penny was watching something and she came over here because she said it was scary. What were you seeing that was scary?
Well, different one went on and I made it back to one that I was watching.
Oh, what were you watching?
I was watching like a different YouTube channel, Daily Mom.
Oh. Alright, so you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
I gotta go fix things for Penny, and then actually what we should do is go to bed, right?
But then after I'm done watching all these.
Do you guys think Penny should go to bed, or she should watch more YouTube channels? Let's see what they say. We're waiting to see what you say. Sorry, I was quiet a little bit there, but they're gonna say it right here. Strawberries! Penny, are you Team Strawberry? Yeah, you're Team Strawberry? Stephanie says, bed sounds like a good idea. Penny and Daddy need some sleep, they said.
I'm not tired.
You're not tired?
No.
Stephanie says, bed, Z's, and Z's. Awesome. Heavy Metal Magnet says he'll be ready.
Okay.
She said, girl after my own heart, but we need sleep, Miss Penny.
No, I don't.
She fights sleep so much. If I'm not asleep, she will not go to bed. It's so crazy. I try to get her to bed, and if she ends up falling to sleep and I am not asleep and she wakes up, she'll come and like scold me. It's funny.
Potter.
Does Potter need sleep, Penny?
Potter does.
Potter does need sleep, but Penny doesn't?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna get Penny to bed.
No.
I'll talk to you guys later.
No.
Yes!